Next up are our Hall of Fame honors, honoring the off-Broadway legacies of people who enriched our lives and the life of theater when they were with us and whose memory lives now in our hearts. And the first is Linda Lavin. I mean, everyone knows this, but Linda Lavin was completely adorable and adored. From the moment she burst onto the scene in 1965 in the Off-Broadway review Wet Paint, you could not take your eyes off her. The Times critic wrote, quote, "Comely Linda Lavin, cute and winning," I think he was crushing on her a little bit, performs her various assignments with joyful abandon. Joyful abandon. I think the Times critic hit it on the nose. And Linda won a Theatre World Award that year for her promising debut, and it turned out to be extremely promising. The next year in The Mad Show, Linda introduced the hilarious Stephen Sondheim and Mary Rogers collaboration, The Boy From. Do you remember The Boy From? I can't do it. Tacarimbo, La Tumbe del Fuego. It's the delicious send-up of the girl from Ipanema. Linda played the smitten and comically clueless singer who just doesn't get why her crush on this particular boy, as the lyrics slyly let us know, is, shall we say, unlikely to be requited. So 54 years later, she brought it back for Sondheim's 90th birthday celebration, and she killed with it again. And if you haven't heard for it a while, look it up on Spotify. It's a treat hearing her deliver it. Linda continued to perform her assignments with joyful abandon for an astonishing 7 decades. In the hit sitcom Alice, and on stage in Neil Simon's Broadway Bound, and in Charles Busch's Tale of the Allergist's Wife. And she came back to Off-Broadway again and again, playing vital, funny, dark, and complex roles, including in The Lions, Little Murders, Death-Defying Acts, and You Will Get Sick. When asked why she took on these dark, unsympathetic, and dangerous roles, she once told an interviewer, "It's the naked fury of the comedy that I wanted to play, to get to the pain underneath it all. I wanted to see if I could portray these characters fully enough so that people could relate to them." So, Linda Lavin was more than adorable. She was a thoughtful, subtle, and profound artist, and we're thrilled to be honoring her today. So please help me welcome to accept our award, Linda's favorite music director, collaborator, and deep longtime friend, the amazing and appropriately dressed Billy Stritch. Can I hold this for you?
Sure. Well, you hit the nail on the head. Linda was completely adorable. I miss her so much. I wish she were here to accept this on her. More than anything, I wish she were here. I miss her terribly. She left us unexpectedly last December, leaving behind a void that can't be filled, but also a legacy of unforgettable stage performances that continue to inspire. Peter mentioned a lot of them. She made an indelible mark on Broadway, but Off-Broadway was really, I think, where she found her footing in New York, and she kept coming back again and again and again, even after she went back to LA. You know, in the 70s, New York was not a great time for actors or for the city in general, and so a lot of actors of her generation moved to LA, and she did quite well, as we know. She did Barney Miller and Rhoda and all those guest spots, which led to a 9-year stint on Alice. But after that ran its course, she came back to New York and reemerged as the theater artist that we all know and respect today. I met her in 1993. We had gone, my friend Jim Caruso had gone backstage. We saw her in The Sisters Rosenzweig. She had replaced the great Madeline Kahn. And we went back. Jim had met her the year previous. And we went back, come back, let's, she invited us backstage, and I thought it was gonna be like a 5-minute, quick meet and greet. And about an hour later, the doorman was like, are you guys leaving anytime soon? And we just hit it off. And from that point on, Linda and I were close, fast friends. Immediately, we made the connection over music. She loved playing by ear. She could do all that. She had an older sister, and her mother, they grew up in Portland. Her mother was an opera singer, and her sister was 9 years older than Linda was, but they all sang. Linda said in her house there was never a time when a dish was washed that there wasn't 3-part harmony going on. I love that image, right? I became her musical director probably in the early 2000s. And we traveled all over the place. We did shows in New York. We did shows a couple of years ago. We were able to fulfill a great wish of hers to play in London, and she took London by storm, and it was great to be part of that. And I have so many great memories of her and the music that we created together, and just the fun. There was nobody more fun and more loving and more open and in the moment on stage. And just a delight to watch. When she was on stage, you knew that you were in good hands, and you knew you were totally safe with her. And you mentioned a lot of her credits. She won a couple of OBA awards. She won Outer Critics Circle Award. She was in, you mentioned everything she did. She did the New Century, that was one you didn't mention, at the Mitzi Newhouse Theater. She won her third Drama Desk Award. She won her second for Broadway Bound. And of course, that unforgettable portrayal of Rita Lyons in The Lions, which first played Off-Broadway at the Vineyard Theater. And then a few years later, she did Too Much Sun at the Vineyard Theater. Both of those are written by Nikki Silver. And then her final stage role was in a show by Noah Diaz called You Will Get Sick, directed by Sam Pinkleton, and co-starring the wonderful Daniel K. Isaac, who I'm happy to say is with us today. Daniel, I think I could speak for you when I say there was no one more present, generous, or alive on stage or off than Linda. I knew her well, and yet she always had this way of surprising me every time she stepped into a role. Her ability to tap directly into the heart of a character was nothing short of thrilling. She had a gift for unearthing the humor and drama, the vulnerability and strength, and always the truth. She brought every character fully to life, lifting up every project and every scene partner around her. I found this great story that Sarah Paulson related on her Instagram a couple of days after Linda passed, and I wanted to, I'm borrowing it from Sarah, because it's a good story. They were in a show called Collected Stories in 2010, a two-hander, and Sarah said, I remember the night when the stuck window that the first 5 minutes of the play was centered around closed all by itself. I was facing Linda, she was facing the window, while I heard and she saw the window slowly close. With my heart racing, I stared at her. What the fuck are we supposed to do? She looked at me, cool as can be, and said, why don't you come back in and we'll start this again? She went over to the sill, she got the window up and re-jammed, and I scurried off stage and we started the play from the beginning. Well, needless to say, the audience went wild, roaring with laughter and applause. This was quintessentially why she was untouchable as a performer. She knew that the audience had seen the window fall, so we couldn't continue as if it hadn't. So we fixed it and we began again, and the audience just stayed with us, you know? She was incapable of denying reality, and because of it, you knew you were always safe with her. In an audience, on stage, sitting across from her at dinner, safe. I'm not sure I ever had a person more firmly in my corner, reaching out after seeing anything I was in and celebrating me as if I were her own. Well, I feel exactly the same way. There was truly no one more in my corner than Linda. I could tell her anything, and she always listened without judgment. When I needed it, her advice was thoughtful, wise, and deeply grounded. And she never missed one of my shows. More than once, she flew across the country just to surprise me in the audience. I treasure each and every note that she wrote, every encouraging text, every insight she shared. That deep well of love, curiosity, and care wasn't just something she gave to her friends. It's what made her such an extraordinary performer. You could feel all of that heart in every role she played. After every show of hers that I saw, I had this thing I would say to her. I'd pull her in close and I'd whisper, "I can't believe I know you." And I meant it. You know, that was how I felt. I never stopped being awed by the fact that my dear friend was also this breathtaking artist, capable of making you laugh, cry, and feel everything in between. I miss her deeply, but I find comfort in knowing how profoundly she was loved and admired. Her performances touch so many lives, and it means so much to see the Alliance honoring her today. I know she'd be incredibly thrilled and honored to receive this recognition, and I'm equally proud to accept it for her. Thanks.
Thank you.